Hello, Mordarim here. Unicorn Overlord is right around the corner, and what better way to get into it than with a few handy tips and tricks before I dive into the meat with some in-depth guides. Currently you can play an extensive 7-hour demo on basically every console available, which is quite nice. You can also replay the demo however often you like, which I did 2 times in the highest difficulty. There is quite a bit of content to enjoy, so if you got the time, make sure to check it out. It's really amazing. Now, if you like what I do and want to support me, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already. I cover all sorts of RPGs, be it strategy, RPGs on this channel in the form of extensive guides. So thank you for your support and let's dive into the tips for the expert mode. Tip number 1. Make sure to utilize Joseph. This bad boy is an absolute beast and lets you carry weaker units through the early stages of the game, like lags before he gets to accomplish anything. If you played Fire Emblem games in the past, you might want to bench the good old Joseph. But in this game, this is a mistake. The experience you get in the squad is only diminished for characters 4 levels higher than the encounter, meaning level 1 characters still get the full experience with Joseph in the squad. This makes him an incredibly strong babysitter. Tip number 2. The stamina mechanic in this game limits you from using a doom stack to wreck your way through the battle stages. Once you're out of stamina, you are a sitting duck. Well, at least that's what you might think at first. But a unit without stamina is just unable to move or use assists. They can still fight and can use Veiler skills without any issues. You can also swap them in and out of encounters if a unit is close by, making it possible to move at least a tiny bit. As for the rest command, it makes you unable to do those things. You will become a sitting duck with no use for a substantial amount of time. If you have to use it, think about putting a defensive unit nearby or put them into a safe position. Tip number 3. Go into the options and turn on autorun as well as pause on combat start. Those are off by default but a huge quality of life improvement. Autorun also makes it much more convenient to explore enemy territory while running away from enemies. Tip number 4. Units deal the same amount of damage in the back and front row. There is no bony at play here other than tanking and possibly splitting the damage in between multiple characters. Put 1 or 2 tanky units in the front and spread out your other units behind them. Having a bow user right behind the tank is also not optimal given spears exist and hit both their front and back line at the same time. Tip number 5. Speaking of tanks, there is 3 types early. The life pool tank with regenerative abilities, the physical tank with guard passives to protect your allies, and the dodge tank. The last one makes it very hard for enemies to hit them. But in this game every unit has a silver bullet to them. Some units are guaranteed to hit you or prevent you from using your guard abilities. Hard counters do exist and demand of you to plan your encounters before you start them. Tip number 6. Items that permanently increase your stats have a limited use of 5 per character, but that limit is only specific to the upgrade item, meaning it is possible to upgrade your attack stat by 5 and then increase your critical strike chance by another 5%. Now those items are quite rare, but offer a significant increase in power and should always be used, not stored. The stat increases you get per level are not as significant as those items or equipment. Now, a great candidate for attack boosting is Clive with his ability to attack multiple times during an encounter, so you get the most use out of it. Tip number 7. Use your Veiler points. Sitting on 5 might look cool because the bar is getting filled, but it makes you lose on significant increases to power, XP and utility. Some units can revive or heal, some can teleport your units and some can restore stamina, all of which can be incredible ways to mold the battlefield to your advantage. But there's also one that outshines all, especially early game. The double XP Veiler skill available to your Lord. You can prep a boss, unleash the buff on one of your squads and guarantee level ups for them, sometimes even enough for 2. Tip number 8. Speaking of experience, make sure to change up your units in the squad to optimally benefit from experience. Being 4 levels above an encounter will significantly decrease the XP for that unit, making them equal to Joseph. An archer might not be useful for you for multiple stages, but once you are swarmed with flyers and dodge tanks, you will be thankful to have 2 of them leveled up and up to speed. Tip number 9. You can run past most enemies in the overworld, making it possible to gather materials for upgrading your liberated towns. Doing this early will allow you to station units at nearly all towns right from the get-go, giving you access to additional gold and materials. After battle, you will be able to see the additional gold and materials you have gathered this way in the bottom right corner. Gold is quite tight early, so having that extra funding will come in very handy. Speaking of which, make sure to check every blacksmith shop in each town. Every shop has a few powerful weapons or equipment that will allow you to customize your squad. Having units equip them will bring some very cool stuff to the strategy table. Tip number 10. Money is tight early, but there are multiple sources for you to explore early in the game. The first big one is upgrading towns as mentioned in the last tip. The second one are mock battles with units of your own faction scattered around the map. Those reward you with 2000 gold once you beat them for the first time. The next really big one is the Steel Valor action combined with the gold coin. It doubles all combat based gold acquisition including steel, which provides you with a quite substantial amount of additional income from all units on the battlefield. However, each unit can only be pickpocketed once, and it costs 1 Valor point. The gold coin can also be bounced from unit to unit before fights. This can be done in the middle of a stage. Now this sums up the video. If you liked what you saw, make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you have not already. You can also support me some more by joining the channel membership, which allows me to keep making videos. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.